Las Vegas rocks all around the clock. Las Vegas rocks, 'cause this town never stops. Las Vegas rocks all around the clock, 'cause this town never stops. Las Vegas rocks.
Las Vegas rocks.
It's the Las Vegas Rocks radio show, the show before the show. Join us for a fast-paced hour of celebrity interviews and entertainment news. And now, here's Ron.
Well, Las Vegas rocks.
And welcome once again to the Las Vegas Rocks radio show. I'm Ron Garrett, your host. Join me and co-host Tom Hillary as we welcome this week's guest, the multi-talented entertainer, singer, and showman, Mr. Lou Gazzara, former Dunes headliner and South Carolina's official First Lady of Song, the sensational Loretta Holloway. Plus, joining us from St. Louis, former Dunes Hotel General Manager and Vice President, Mr. Arthur Shenker, Jr. We'll be talking to them in just a couple of minutes, but first, the mission of the Las Vegas Rocks radio show is to encourage, motivate, support, and promote local entertainers and singers, musicians, magicians, comedians, dancers, tribute artists, got to get them all in there, right, Lou? Who work in the showrooms, lounges, dinner clubs, nightclubs, show bars, and all other venues who feature live entertainment. Word first about Las Vegas Rocks radio show now streaming on Facebook Live. A lot of people say they can't hear it, they can't hear it, they can't hear it. So we've provided a link. It's 670kmzq.com. 670kmzq.com. If you go to that, and some people are able to put two open apps on their computer or laptop at the same time, which I can do on my iPad. However, it may not be possible. Most likely you can, or have your one device on Facebook Live and the other device on 670kmzq.com, and you can hear the show and see it at the same time. Okay? Before we get started with our guests, I have a couple of words about some people here in town that have just passed away, unfortunately. It's so sad. His name was Donnie Lee Moore from Durham, North Carolina. Donnie was the producer and originator of American Superstars that played at the Stratosphere 14 years and employed hundreds and hundreds of tribute artists and staff and show people all around, just hundreds of people in several different shows over 14 years. They changed different acts over and over again. He passed away. May he rest in peace. And also we know about Siegfried Fischbacher. Him and his partner Roy Horn changed the face of Las Vegas entertainment. And I wish both of those two to enjoy the after party.
Yeah, I actually live right around the corner from Siegfried and Roy's Jungle Palace over there, and there's already a bunch of flowers and things outside the gates. I don't doubt it.
Did you know anybody? Did you know them at all?
I didn't know. I never had a chance to see them.
On the phone right now is Loretta Holloway, and put both pots up for me, and Arthur Shenker, Jr. Hi, guys.
Well, hello. Good evening. Good Saturday evening.
Good evening. Hi, Arthur.
Good to be back in Las Vegas.
Hey, Ron, how you doing?
Arthur,
on the radio.
You're on the radio, and Loretta, we're glad to have you back on again. In studio is Lou Gazzara.
Nice to meet you.
Hello, Lou.
And,
my pleasure, my friend.
And my co-host, Tom Hillary.
Hello, Loretta. Hello, Arthur. How you doing, man?
Tom Hillary. Hello.
Tom Hillary, the movie maker, Loretta. We're going to talk about some of your movies that you made and the songs that you sung in just a bit. But first, my shout-outs for tonight.
Okay.
First up to Tammy Morelli, my honey. I love you, baby. She's listening at home right now. PJ Gia Maria, he's out there in the desert cruising around in his RV. Johnny Scaglione down in Tampa, Florida. Hey, John. John's a producer, brings concerts to Las Vegas when we bring concerts to Las Vegas. Marty Carmo in Reno, and Jerry Walker up in Reno, and Barbara Brighton. Barbara's almost 100% back. Good. She's been on the mend for a long time, and she's doing well. Tommy Ronca in Naples, Florida, and Gene Ferrari in Fort Myers. Hey, Gene, happy birthday to you. Gene Ferrari's birthday today, and we wish him well. Michelle Johnson, she's on break. We hope she's listening. Also to Angela Casaro, Ben Spano, Jimmy Gerard, and Janine Pritchard at the Italian American Club. We give them a shout-out all the time. Meyer Lansky II, he'll be on very shortly on this show. Jason Allen at the Vegas Room, lots of new stuff coming up over there. Mark Maynard and Lisa Miscori also, who are tried and true listeners. And all the venues that support local entertainers. The Italian American Club, the Vegas Room, Sienna Restaurant, Bootlegger, hey Dennis, the Tuscany, Chianti Restaurant, Rob Garrett out there doing a great job, the Mosaic, where Blair Farrington has the Piano Man, Bella Vita, Capo's, Prosecco's, the Skyline. Recently, Mark Giovi and Nick Cole were out there. And if I'm missing anyone, let me know, and we'll get it out there. We'll give you a shout-out. Just contact Tom Hillary at the Las Vegas Rocks Radio Show at gmail.com. Okay, let's get started. Let's bring up Mr. Shenker. Shenker.
How are ya?
And Loretta, let's, before we get to Lou, who's here in studio, and we're anxious to talk to him because he's going to be appearing shortly at the Italian American Club next Wednesday, as a matter of fact. Let's talk a little bit about you guys. Arthur, tell me the story about you and Loretta at the Dunes.
Well, first, I want to do 3 real quick shout-outs to my oldest daughter, Jennifer, to my daughter, Laura, to my sister, Patty, and all their significant others, and to my son, Morris, and all their significant others.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, I tell you, talking about Loretta is a real pleasure. She just brought the people in, and working with her and watching her perform was phenomenal. She captured the audiences, and they were like mesmerized by her. She had wit. She was provocative and humorous, and boy, could she sing.
And did she send you a check for that,
I was
Arthur?
Going to say, he said everything I told him to say.
I think so. But there's so much more to you. The theme song.
I didn't add provocative, though.
Provocative.
Well,
you're only laughing because it's true, Loretta.
When I say provocative, that she always did up there, and everybody got a real thrill out of it. And she knows what song I'm talking about. She can mention it if she wants.
Okay, what song was that, Loretta?
Are you talking about the little risque Dinah Washington, Dr. Long John?
Yes.
Yes. It was a Dinah Washington song called Dr. Long John. But I did it very subtle. It was a very subtle innuendo. And it was cute, very well received. So it was just a little specialty number there. I did. Mm-hmm. But I had a lot of wonderful memories and times in Las Vegas. I spent 21 years there.
Well, let me talk about you a bit. You started an off-Broadway show, Mama, I Want to Sing.
Yes, Mama, I Want to Sing.
You did a command performance
in New York City.
You did a command performance for Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip.
That is correct. That was for their 82 Commonwealth Games.
You have movie credits.
It to she and Prince Philip following the command performance with a 52-piece symphony orchestra.
Wow. You have movie credits, Pure Country, George Strait, Elvis and Me.
That is correct. And what brought me to Las Vegas was I was doing the soundtrack for a movie that was produced by Jack Ashford of the original Funk Brothers. And it was a movie called Black Jack, and he was doing the arrangement and the all of the music. He wrote the majority of the music for it. So I was doing 3 songs for the soundtrack of the movie Black Jack, which, of course, was filmed partially in Las Vegas. And I had been living in Los Angeles for maybe 2 years, doing different commercials and making that kind of a scene, you know. And then when I was flown out to Las Vegas, and I saw all the marquees of Sammy Davis and Frank Sinatra and the marquee, I said, this is where I need to be. This is where I need to be. I was just automatically drawn towards it. I love the neons. It had such charm then, you know.
It's still charming in its own way now.
I could not believe that all of these stars were in the same city at the same time. It was just mind-boggling to me.
Well, you've also opened for Jay Leno, Don Rickles, Whoopi Goldberg, Bill Cosby, Jerry Lewis, and appeared twice on the Muscular Dystrophy telethon.
That is correct.
And
St. Jude's. What else did I appeared on? Yes, out of Las Vegas. That's correct.
Do we have one of Loretta's songs up right now? Yeah. We're going to go to a break, Loretta and Arthur, and we're going to play one of the songs that you sent me, Loretta. I think it's which one we got first? I think we got "Why Do You Want to Love Me" or "Guess What I Saw Today." Guess what I saw today. This is you, Loretta Holloway.
Got caught in the rain. No, don't bother to explain. Can I fix you a quick martini? As a matter of fact, I think I'll have one with you. To tell you the truth, I've had quite a day too. Guess who I saw today, my dear? I went in town to shop around for something new. Thought I'd grab a bite to eat when I was through. I looked around for some place that was near, and it occurred to me where I had parked the car. I saw this most attractive French cafe and bar. It really wasn't very far. The waiter showed me.
Listen to Kelvin. What he's about to say could change your life.
I'm 6'2", and I was about 290. And I lost weight fast. I trimmed down. Now I'm about 235. I'm probably at about 9, maybe 10% body fat. That's great. I lost probably at least 60 pounds in probably 3.5, 4 months. Color of my hair is coming back. Skin looks better. Obviously gaining muscle. My muscle mass is coming back. Thank you for providing an awesome product. Somebody who actually has and does what they say they will. That's awesome.
That's great, Kelvin. Losing that belly fat in less than 4 months is outstanding. Since 2004, Andro 400 has been changing men's lives, like Kelvin, and can help you lose belly fat, gain energy, and improve your lifestyle. We guarantee it. Go to andro400.com for more true testimonials, before and after photos, and special discounts. Only available on andro400.com. andro400.com.
You may recall in my last ad for Dr. Joshua Purcell, D.C. at Active Life Health and Wellness, when I admitted that when I started the treatments for my neuropathy in my hands and feet, I was down to just 20% feeling left in my feet and 60% in my hands. I'm happy to report that after just 1 month of treatments, I doubled feeling in my feet up to 40% and almost 80% in my hands. And it's been done with no surgery, no medication, and no injections. Active Life Health and Wellness has a plan to get you back on your feet by increasing the blood flow in your legs and feet, which means you regain the feeling lost in those damaged nerves. Doesn't matter how old you are either. I'm in my 50s. Is your neuropathy keeping you from doing the things you love? Reserve your spot at the next seminar on how to reverse your neuropathy naturally. Call 702-500-0839. That's 702-500-0839.
There's no other place like Las Vegas to see.
And we're back on the Las Vegas Rocks radio show. I'm Ron Garrett on AM 670 KMZQ. On the phone from South Carolina, Loretta Holloway, and also from St. Louis, Mr. Arthur Shenker Jr. Loretta, let's get back to you for a minute. Okay? That was a beautiful song, by the way. We played that going into the break.
Yes, I heard. Guess who I saw today? Who? That is from my debut CD, which is called Loretta Holloway Quietly. There are 17 songs on there. They're all ballads. All ballads, and they're very pure. What I wanted to do was to have an acoustic piano, acoustic bass, and live strings. I didn't want anything electronic on this production at all. And so I found that, because I have a very big voice, and I found that the most requested songs, those are the songs that I put on the CD, 17. And such as At 17, I'm a Fool to Want You, Can't Help Loving That Man of Mine, Older Man River is on there. Guess Who I Saw Today, I've Never Been to Me. And the songs that I normally do with a big belting voice, I contain them. And I found that there was a wonderful power in being quiet.
Silence is golden.
I recorded that at...
Except on the radio.
What? On the radio?
I was just saying, silence is golden except on the radio.
On the radio,
yeah.
This is true, yes. Oh, my goodness. I should have the CD in front of me. But Bobby Schiff out of Chicago was my musical director. And he played all 17 songs, and I just wanted to be quiet. And that is some of my best work. The CD actually saved my life, literally, because I had gone through 3 recording contract things that fell apart.
Mm-hmm.
You know, either the people got a little strange, they disappeared, the money disappeared, and I said, once before I die, I wanted to see my face on the cover of a CD, even if I have to produce it myself. Thus, Loretta Holloway, Quietly.
Well, that sounds good, Loretta. I want to know more with Arthur, how you guys got together and how did you end up at the Dunes. Arthur?
Well, at the top of the Dunes, what we wanted to do is not just have Russ Morgan and the orchestra up there. We wanted to, for dancing, we wanted to create entertainment up there. And what we were looking for were people that, again, could bring in people and that were really great talents. And the Dunes, I think, was one of the great hotels that no matter what room we had, it was always based on talent. The Dome of the Sea, we had Kippy Lou Brinkman. Solon's Table, the Romero with his violins. Top of the Dunes, we have Loretta, Bob Anderson, and Marlene Rickey, and the dance bands. So, and Sonny King would appear every now and then.
What year was this, Arthur?
We're going back, into the 80s.
Yeah.
I'm going to say about 80, between like 82 and 84, 85, in that area, and maybe 81 to about 84. And we wanted to create, because Las Vegas has always been about gambling, but what brought people to your hotel and what brought them over was the entertainment and the food.
Did you meet Loretta first? Was it an agent? Did you see her perform? What made you want to bring her in?
We knew about her, and she had been performing, and we wanted her. We really wanted her to be up there, and I thought we had 3 real good major people between her and Marlene and Bob.
Well, you did,
and every one of them in their own right are really tremendous, great entertainers. And one correction, I was never the general manager of the hotel.
Oh.
But I was president of the parent company.
Okay.
So...
That sounds better somehow, Arthur.
A little bit, so I gave myself the raise. Okay. And I'm glad we're doing this again, because I know the radio show had played 2 or 3 times, like encore performances from the one time we were on. And I was getting to think, everybody must think that you and I are senile because we kept repeating ourselves.
Yeah, well, we took a couple of weeks off, and it was supposed to be a football game, and instead of the game, we had to run the show
now
again.
We're brand new, so I like that.
And we're going to talk about your passion, Smart Recovery, which is to empower people to achieve independence from addiction problems with our science-based 4-point program. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit, Arthur.
That sounds great.
But I want to get back to Loretta a little bit, and, of course, in studio is Lou Gazzara. He's waiting patiently, and we're going to have a nice conversation with him shortly. We're on Facebook Live. If you like to hear the phones, hear what's going on the air, as well as see us, but not a lot going on in the studio right now, except that handsome man that you can see right there. Go to 670kmzq.com, hit the listen button, and you'll be able to see us and hear us all at the same time.
Oh, let me do that right now.
Yes. And Loretta, well, you can hear everything. We're on your phone there, Loretta. Yes. You're known as South Carolina's official First Lady of Song. Can you tell us how that came about? How did that come about?
Well, when I decided to leave Las Vegas and to my parents were transitioning, and being the only daughter, I knew that at some point I was going to come and see them, to transition. And when I made a decision to leave Las Vegas, leaving Las Vegas, boy, that was a movie.
That was a movie.
Leaving Las Vegas, and to come home full time to South Carolina. This is where I was born and reared. I was doing different things in South Carolina with the company, with the community, during different shows, charity events, and so wherever I would go, I would always mention Belton was my home. South Carolina was the state that I am, from, and so it was asked of me, did anyone in Belton ever think of honoring me? I said, not really. So there was a motion put in. They put into a motion to get me named South Carolina's official First Lady of Song. It was a lovely evening, a red carpet event here in Belton, the likes of which I don't think Belton has ever seen before or since. And the Senator Billy Odell, the late senator, as well as the other senators here, got together and made this proclamation. So they presented me with the proclamation. I am also considered Anderson County, an Anderson County treasurer by the Anderson County Council. So that was another proclamation and a dedication.
What about Jazz Artist of the Year in South Carolina and South Carolina's Women of Substance?
Ah, yes. These were all wonderful honors, and to be recognized that way, I always carry myself to be a role model because people are always watching. That's why I always wanted to dress and present myself as very elegant and sophisticated, but not above the crowd. My personality and songs transcended the footlight. I wanted to make everyone happy in that audience. And it was so endearing to me that year after year, I could look out into an audience and call many people by their first names. Year after year, they would follow me from place to place to place. And that was always very endearing to me. My last engagement in Las Vegas was at the Las Vegas Hilton.
What year was that?
But actually, I came back in 2017. I would like to give a shout-out to a lady who is a superwoman. I call her my superhero. Her name is Mabel Buckner. She came back to Las Vegas 2017 to do the Las Vegas Legends Dream Award. And I'm telling you, the group of people that were in that honoring, you had Copeland Davis, you had Marlena Rick, you had, Janine Marie, and that was her last performance. You had Earl Turner, you had Sonny Turner, you had Sonny Charles, and myself. So it had
good
been
lineup.
17 years since I had been back in Las Vegas. And that was an elegant evening. Mabel Buckner Payton really put on a fine show. And it was like old Las Vegas. I mean, it was a homecoming. It was just endearing because we would always go see each other's acts. I know when my first engagement was at the Landmark Hotel, and that was I signed the contract in 1980. And then after that was Frontier, and then the Dunes. So at my show at the Las Vegas, at the Landmark, I would say, all right, I'm finished with my show with Pizzazz. That was the group that was with me. And I'm telling you, we were really a class act.
Oh, you certainly were. And your reputation in Las Vegas is excellent. So we're going to take a short break. Arthur, when we come back, I want to hear a little bit about Smart Recovery, okay?
Okay, and then I want to say a couple of words about Las Vegas, just in general.
Okay, we're going to come right back. Well, let's have Loretta. You have Loretta ready to go? Queued up? Let's have Loretta take us out to the break.
Start your heating system this winter without a safety and efficiency check by Home Air Conditioning. Safety is a must. Call Danny at 878-8367. That's 878-8367 or online at homeairlv.com.
Home Air Conditioning. Get a 21-point inspection for just $59.
When it comes to air conditioning, don't let the sharks take advantage of you. Before you call those national chains or commit to an overpriced air conditioner, save money. Call Home Air Conditioning. Get a technician, not a salesman. License number 51994. Call Danny for a price on a new air conditioner at 878-8367. Home Air Conditioning.
Now get a safety check and heating tune-up for just $59.
There's no other place like Las Vegas to see.
And welcome back to the Las Vegas Rocks radio show. I'm Ron Garrett on AM 670. KMZQ in studio. Lou Gazzara. Hello, Lou, again. We've got a lot to talk about. Hang in there, my friend.
Absolutely.
Tom Hillary, movie maker extraordinary. We've got two people on now who've been in movies, Lou and also Loretta. Both
Fantastic.
Movie makers. You know, you might want to think about having a movie about Vegas, Tom.
We got the next movie cast. Perfect.
You got a cat right here.
Lou and Loretta.
Wait till
you can do the music too, Loretta.
Well, what part would you cast Lou in, Tom?
Well, what do you want, Psycho Killer or Handsome Leading Man?
Handsome Leading Man.
You want Handsome Leading Man?
Wait till you see Bad Girl Island first, and then we'll decide which role
yeah,
fits.
I need to know the details on that one. That'll probably be our
and of course,
shooting
Loretta
down.
would be an ingenue, right? Is that a good word, Loretta?
An ingenue. That
Is that a good word? I just pulled that out of the air. I hope it's appropriate.
Your repertoire, your vocabulary. Yes, I will take the ingenue.
Okay.
It's ingenue, okay.
Arthur Shenker, you're out there.
Can I be an executive producer?
You bet. You got to talk to Tom, though.
You can put in lots of money, Arthur. All the money you want to.
Anyway, thank you for having me on again. And
well, let me introduce you a little bit, okay?
Go ahead.
Arthur Shenker was not the general manager of the Dunes. Let's start with that. Dunes. Let's start with that. I didn't own the Dunes.
Yes.
But you also basically did all the entertainment at the hotel. You were responsible for most of that. Am I right?
For a whole lot of things.
A whole lot of other things and things we can't even talk about on the radio, right?
Some of my things along with Jerry Conti and a few others that were there.
Well, now your passion is smart recovery. This is what you are involved with in St. Louis, among other things, of course. Tell us a little bit about that. This has been a tough time for a lot of people. You know, I like staying upbeat all the time, but this is important. And tell us what that's all about and how people can get help.
And smart recovery is upbeat because we're there to help people recover from problems that they're having with maladaptive or addictive behaviors. And since the pandemic started and the isolation, lapses, relapses, and overdoses have increased by almost 45%. So it's really something we need to do. Our smart recovery is based on science, as you mentioned earlier, evidence-based and science-based, and we are international. And we have meetings on Zoom now. We have some face-to-face meetings going on, but mostly on Zoom all the time. And we're there to help people. And we have many different facilities that actually use us as a resource for their inpatients. One right there in Las Vegas called Crossroads. And we have Sauna Lake in St. Louis area and Summit Malibu out in California that uses us. So we're a good resource, and it's something that where we can help people recover from those behaviors. And addictive behaviors don't have an IQ. They don't see who they're affecting. It's everybody is eligible. There's equal opportunity for all, and we just want to be there to be a big part of their recovery and to help them. But we're not a lifelong program, so we want to empower them to be able to make their own decisions and to make their own better choices by maybe changing the thinking a little bit. And that's really what we do and where we're at. And as I said, we're international. Our workbooks are in 20 different languages. We're all over the world. So, and we also have programs for people that are coming out of prison and jails, and people that are in prison and jails. So we have reentry programs that we do all over the country and in Australia, big time in Australia and in England. So we're a real big outfit. We are a 501c3 tax-free. We're a .org, and and we do what we can to help people who are in need. And
how does one get a hold of these services?
Excuse me?
How does one get a hold of these services?
Well, they can look on our smartrecovery.org website. Mm-hmm. And when they do that, they'll get a lot of information, plus they can find online meetings. And depending on what city you're in Las Vegas, you'll find we have a facilitator out there, Rick Kaplinski, along with Bob Vickery and a lady named Ebony. They do meetings, and you'll find them on the website in Las Vegas area. Just put in the Las Vegas zip code, and you'll find them. And if you want to come to my meetings in St. Louis, all you have to do is put in St. Louis, Missouri, and you'll find my meetings. But there's meetings all over the world that take place. I was on a meeting this afternoon just to listen that was taking place in the UK.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you, Arthur. I'll come back to you on that one in just a little while. Okay?
Okay.
One more thing, Loretta.
Yes.
Last night you were at yesterday morning you were honored or you were involved with the Martin Luther King breakfast?
Yes, I was selected to do a special tribute to Dr. Martin Luther King. It's an annual breakfast put on by Mayor Terrence Roberts. It's very well attended, but of course, due to COVID, things had to be scaled down. So I sung. The song that I chose was the Impossible Dream.
Wow, good song.
And I've done the breakfast about 4 or 5 times, leading people in the birthday song, the Happy Birthday song. But, yesterday, I did a very special tribute to him.
Well, that's wonderful. That is wonderful. Can I get you guys to hang on for a while? Because I'm going to switch gears here, and I'm going to be talking with Lou in just a second. You want to stay on the line? You can. You can stay for the whole hour or whatever you'd like to do, but we're going to... Is that all right? What's your pleasure, ladies and gentlemen out there?
I'd like to stay on because I want to talk a little bit about the future of Vegas with you.
Okay, we're going to come back to that. And Loretta, you want to stay on? We can still talk about a few things.
Course.
Okay.
I didn't talk about being at the dunes.
Okay, well, we'll get to that. But right now, let's introduce Lou Gazzara. As soon as we push all the right buttons. Not yet. There it is. What's that all about? That's your promo, or it's called Timeline? This is Lou Gazzara, ladies and gentlemen. There he is.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much, Ron, for having me here.
You're very welcome.
You, Tom. That was actually a few clips from a show that I was in, my big start here in Las Vegas, which was Vegas the Show. That was a David Sachs production over at Planet Hollywood. I got to portray some of the greatest Las Vegas legends, obviously. Wayne Newton, Frank Sinatra, Elvis Presley, Tom Jones, you name it. Elton John was even in there. I mean, of course, he had his Red Piano show at Caesars. So it was great because that show, as we talked about with Loretta, paying tribute to the glory days of Las Vegas, the golden era, if you will. And I was thrilled to be part of that for about 3 years, nominated by Broadway World for each year from the performances, kind of tribute-esque.
Tribute-esque. Let's see. You were an American Idol finalist. That's the big story.
Many moons ago.
Actually, I looked that up. The show that you were on was won by Ruben Stoddard.
Yeah, Ruben and Clay was the runner-up.
Clay
Atkins, a lot of people remember him as well.
And you were on that show, and you were in the semifinalist.
Yes.
You were also a 3-time Broadway nominee, 2003 for the Vegas the show.
Yeah.
You know, David Sachs and I worked a little bit together. Okay. He had one of his shows at the Sahara when I was the entertainment guy over there. It was called Buck Wild. It was a topless show.
No, not in Vegas.
Oh, never.
No,
never. But the Vegas to Show is a great operation. I hope that it comes back.
I hope so too. I mean, up until the start of the pandemic, it was still up and running. I believe almost 10-year anniversary was in the works before everything kind of shut down. So well, hopefully that comes back.
Well, you've been described as a guy with fever, funk, grit, and class. You got all that?
Well, 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, right?
Which one are you getting rid of there?
Yeah, I don't know. Fever,
fever, funk.
Especially this time of year.
Yeah, if you got a fever, you need to wear a mask.
Yeah.
But we do wear masks around here. Let's just say that. You also were for a dancer in the show, as well as doing Sinatra, Elvis, Tom Jones, and Elton John. Did you dance?
We had a beautiful choreography done by Tiger Martina, who's a Vegas staple here for many years. Has been in a lot of shows, and I would consider myself the singer who moves more so than a dancer, especially compared to the amazing talent we have here in town. But I did 2 years of tap and jazz throughout high school after my football years. Of course, in a small New Jersey town
then back up to the football years.
Oh, well, as you can see me sitting here now, I wasn't going to play linebacker.
You certainly weren't a lineman. That's
no,
for sure.
No. A little running back here and there, some defensive defensive cornerback position. But that was just a small,
high school
town.
Football?
Yeah, high school football.
What was that high school called?
St. Joseph High School.
St.
Joe's. The Wildcats.
What city was that in?
Hamilton, New Jersey.
Yeah, I know. I brought that up, right?
The blueberry capital of the world.
Hamilton, New Jersey.
Hamilton.
Hammonton, New Jersey. Whereabouts in New Jersey is that? We have a listener, Janet Conway, who lives in New Jersey as well. Where is
right in between Philadelphia and Atlantic City, or a half hour from Cherry Hill. A lot of people know
all of
Cherry
New Jersey
Hill.
Seems to be between Philadelphia and Atlantic City.
Yeah. The good part. They give it the great part.
Well, that's the Tony Soprano part, isn't it?
Absolutely. Well, everybody thinks in New Jersey they drive down from New York to go to the shore, right? The Jersey Shore. They drive in for shoebies, we call them, from Pennsylvania, and they always think that New Jersey is the Parkway and refineries. I mean, and they don't they don't get to see where the Garden State. We have beautiful farmlands. We have protected fish and wildlife. I mean, my dad and my uncle make homemade wine and sausage. We were going out into the trails as a kid. Sticks in a trash can lid, and you were King Arthur. I mean, those were
you
the
have
days.
a lot of background.
So how does that compare to the beauty of the refineries? What?
Well, that's
come on.
Your dad's making sausage, but you are several different ethnic groups here.
I
read you're Latino, you're Middle Eastern. There's
I don't know where the Middle East. I don't unless I'm going through TSA.
Well, you wrote that down.
Where is this?
It's on your website.
Is it somewhere?
Yes, I wrote it's right here, Middle Eastern. Well, maybe a little bit.
I don't know about that. I think my mom and dad did the 23andMe. Oh, definitely.
Definitely.
Sicilian is a major part of my dad's side, but then on his mom's side, we also had Irish and
Latino,
German,
Middle Eastern, Italian.
I don't know how Middle Eastern got in there, but I mean, as long as it's the good parts, right?
Only TSA is concerned about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Actually, the last name Gazzara in Italian is originally an Arabic name, Gasra, and it fittingly means turmoil and strife, which pretty much describes most of the events in my life from time to time. No, but it's I guess Middle Eastern could be in there somewhere.
Well, it could be in there somewhere. Who knows?
I mean, Adam and Eve, they were Hebrew, or they say it's the kind of center that Middle East and Africa, the beginning of civilization. So,
well, I did my 23andMe. I did that, and I've got a lot of mostly Italian, Italian. But there's a little bit of Tunisia in there, a little Tunis.
All right.
So a little North African to go with the Italian.
Nice jazz tune. Nights in Tunisia, right?
Nights in Tunisia. Yeah. So got a little bit of that as well. But let's talk about the Italian American Club, because that's going to be your next performance coming up next Wednesday.
Yeah, coming up January 20th, Wednesday. It's a 6:30 p.m. buffet dinner. All of the COVID protocol and guidelines are in place. So, I mean, obviously everyone knows in town that the Italian American Club is iconic. It's been around for years and years. Everybody and anybody have come through those doors, not only for dinner, but to perform as well as an entertainment venue. So, I mean, it's a beautiful dinner that's served at 6:30, and then we start the concert, which will be like a 90-minute show, right around 8 o'clock. And we have all the hits from Frank Sinatra, Elvis, Jersey Boys, but then also some more modern Journey, Bruno Mars, opera, Italian. I mean, we try to throw everything. Doobie Brothers, kind of all the greatest hits that I had put on my previous album, Musical Love Affair, my love of all different styles of music. And growing up with a big background, I was introduced to everything from blues to Bobby Darin, you name it.
Well, you were in this movie called Bad Girl Island. The title immediately
blockbuster
makes me think it wasn't in the regular theaters.
Yeah, I want to do the sequel.
Yeah, it sounds a little bit like a B-level adult film.
But it starred James Brolin,
absolutely,
Annalyn McCord, and some other stars.
And Antonio Sabato Jr. was
in
that.
Great
yeah,
actor,
Joanna Bacalso from Snow Dogs with Cuba Gooding Jr. And then Stuart Raphael was from England, originally L.A. producer and director. I mean, it was a great experience for me. I was young. I had only done American Idol, which is first time in front of the camera. TV, a little different. And then I had this opportunity to do film. And it was actually the only film that I was part of.
Did the American Idol appearance create the situation where you could do the film? Is that how it came about?
It did. Actually, I have to give a shout-out to my longtime vocal coach, Sal Dupree, of the original Duprees.
Duprees?
Yeah. He was my coach. He helped me get into the American Idol, almost like a godfather, grandfather figure for me, not just a vocal coach. I mean, he took me to get my first headshots over in Philadelphia. Of course, the obligatory stop with the thick envelope to his and all that stuff downtown in South Philly. But he kind of guided me for a while, and once it came time for American Idol fame to kind of open doors. His partner at the time, Diane Kerman, and her husband were doing film work again, and they invited me to be part of that project. For me, the biggest part about it wasn't necessarily just the exposure of film. I mean, we didn't know where it was going to go. I think it went to Showtime. You can probably find it out there on Netflix or Amazon nowadays. But my great-uncle, or actually I should say my grandfather's first cousin, Ben Gazzara.
Oh, the movie star.
Was a major movie star. And
Roadhouse, one of my favorite movies. Roadhouse.
Run for Your Life.
Oh, absolutely. He had a television series?
Absolutely. So for me, it was a chance to just kind of step into those shoes. Family heritage in a way.
So you are related to him?
Yeah.
Because every time I was researching you, his name kept popping up. I said, no, this is not that.
Well, he's the more famous one, I think.
Not anymore.
No, well, yeah, he passed a couple of years back.
Not anymore. You got your fame in front of you right now.
But he was an amazing talent, and to kind of pay tribute to his craft and try my hand as an actor was a thrilling experience. And then, as you can tell by the IMDb rundown, I quickly went back to singing, and I kind of stuck with that with the live performance. I figured that the stage was more of my home.
Let's play a little bit. Let's play your promo right now, because It's got all kinds of different stuff in it. It's really good. Here's Lou Gazzara.
Medical's been telling you about their services for a while now. Here is why. They are innovators. Anytime you have an original concept, you'll have somebody come along and try to make it their own. Unfortunately, it's just a cheap imitation. Not with New Male Medical, because they are the company that got out in front of testosterone replacement and ED treatments. They are the ones leading the way of the nation for sexual health procedures, providing tens of thousands of men in the Las Vegas area for the past 6 years with the help they need. New Male Medical special care starts with the first visit, and they're going to be with you every step of the way. After the first visit, you'll be comfortable and relaxed in their hands, knowing they will be guiding you through whatever you need and any issue you have. Check out New Male Medical by going to newmalemedical.com. That's NUMALE medical.com, or call 702-919-0609. Don't go see a cheap imitation. Go to the originators. New Male Medical, 702-919-0609. 702-919-0609.
And welcome back to the Las Vegas Rocks Radio Show. I'm Ron Garrett on AM 670 KMZQ, speaking with Lou. Lou, after the Italian-American Club coming up on the 20th, Wednesday, what's next after that?
After that, we have another appearance over at Chianti Italian Restaurant on February 6th. That's a Saturday. We're going to do a small show there as well.
What time does that show start?
We don't have a certain time just yet. Probably right around 7:30 or 8 o'clock in the evening.
If it starts that time, you can come here, tell everybody about it, and we can all go with you.
That sounds great.
How's that?
Yeah, that sounds like a plan. That one's going to be a little bit more of an unplugged sort of scene, just a couple soul rock and blues, a couple fun tunes.
Your show at the Italian-American Club is about an hour and a half?
About an hour and a half show,
and
90
you cover
minutes.
Everything.
And yeah, we've got my musical director, Robbie Wingfield. I've got former musical director for Legends in Concert, Joe Escriba, on the sax. We've got Alex Sapo on the drums. So we've brought live musicians into this as well, which is tough during the pandemic. A lot of people have gone to live streaming, smaller track-only productions, and of course, Vegas musicians love track shows, right? You know, it puts everybody out of work. So I figured we're trying to get back. We're trying to do things and show people that Vegas is still home, the entertainment capital of the world, and we're going to do it right. And we're bringing live music in. We're pulling out all the stops and, again, hitting it from A to Z with all the hits. But before I forget, I wanted to say my beautiful wife, Lena, is at home listening as she takes care of our brand-new twin babies, boy and girl. And you probably have that written down, but, I just Maximus and Serafina. So I just wanted to say hi.
That's her name? Maximus and Serafina?
Yeah.
Max and Sarah.
Yeah.
But you're going to say the full name all the time?
Probably.
Very nice.
Until it gets tiring.
Beautiful names. They're very interesting.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah.
As that part of that Middle Eastern background of yours?
Yeah,
right?
probably. Yeah, absolutely. We're a Roman emperor with Maximus from the Gladiator movies, I guess. I don't know. It was actually Saint Maximus Day. It was a saint's day, the day that we got the quick water broke and head to the hospital. So I got to win the name lottery on that. We were up in the air with the boy's name, but Serafina comes from my wife's grandmother's name, and my wife's family's Russian, and her grandmother was Serafima with an M, but it stands for the Seraphim Angels, and I just really fell in love with that. Everybody did right away.
When did you come to Vegas for the first time?
First time I came to Vegas was actually 2006. I came out here. I was dating a girl at the time that was part of Legends in Concert, iconic, one of the longest shows.
Which one did she do? Don't tell her who she is.
Doesn't matter. Tina Turner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What's love got to do? So we were dating for a little while. I came out here just a couple months, and I had just missed a few auditions, part of the audition season, and I really didn't know anyone here. I hadn't gotten my feet wet, and for me, it wasn't back east. It was totally different, and I really didn't like it at first. I quickly got a gig in Florida with Disney World, working for the Mouse, and then after that, I was in Nashville and touring the Midwest. Did some shows. Actually, my first Vegas production was in Atlantic City at the Showboat, working in a show for Blair Farrington.
For Blair?
Yeah.
He was on the show just a few weeks ago.
Which was awesome. He was amazing to work for, especially we were doing Saturdays only in the off-season, and I was in a fender bender. Someone pulled out in front of me, and I slammed on the brakes. I wound up spraining my ankle at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we had 3 little mini shows. It was kind of like a show in the sky, similar to that. And I called him up immediately, of course, and notified the production manager and said, hey, I was just in a car accident, but I'm going to try to make it in. And he says, no, don't kill yourself. Just, do what you got to do where we can put someone on track and a dancer can cover your role. And I said, no, I want to do it. I said, I'll come in. I said, just make sure I have a bucket of ice and whatever on the thing. And he was great. He helped me wrap the ankle up and the costuming, taped my cane, a spiral candy cane kind of looking thing, and it was like a swanky New Orleans style show, so it worked. But
did we have another break at all, Jim? Are we done with the break? We got one more break. I want to bring Arthur in here, and real quick, Arthur and Loretta, bring them both back on.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, both of you here. Let's talk about Arthur, you want to talk about Vegas's future a little bit, and let's bring Lou and Tom into the conversation because they're more concerned about it. You guys are both out of town. So.
Yeah, I'm out of town, but I tell you, when you really think about it, and when Lou said he got to Las Vegas first time in 2006, first time I went to Las Vegas was in 1955.
Oh, wow.
I was 8 years old. So when I saw it, and I remember from being a kid, was signs with a small motel behind them, big signs with a small motel, and there were like miles between it. Now, if you look at what Vegas is, it's from one part when you get to the airport all the way north, south, east, and west. And you went from, when I moved there in 75, there was 150,000 people in Clark County. Now there's 2.2 million.
Yeah.
So when you think about Vegas, it always comes back from things when times were down. And it will survive this pandemic too, and it will come back. I remember when they had the gas crisis and the 55-mile-per-hour speed limit. I remember stock market going down. I remember all kinds of. I remember Atlantic City being built. People say Vegas will lose now. No, it doesn't, because Vegas is the stop. Vegas is the place people want to go.
Well, they're still building here. It hasn't stopped. We still have an empty convention center right now that CES was supposed to fill, but not this year, next year, hopefully. But they're still building. There's still optimism. They're opening new places.
Absolutely.
One of my buddies,
and they have a right to be optimistic. Look where it started. It started as a desert with 2 or 3 hotels on the Strip, right? The old Rancho.
That's right.
Flamingo.
Started with your guys, the ones, half your family's out in the desert right now. Is that right? No, I'm only kidding with you. But,
maybe some of my father's clients.
Poor accounting practices will do that. Yeah.
That's right. Your father's clients, right? But
or at least some of the people that they dealt with. Let's put it that way.
I'm going to have more. I'm going to have Meyer Lansky on again. In a couple of weeks.
Oh, Meyer's great.
My father and the Meyer Lansky were very good friends.
They were good friends. They were in the same era. If we want to call it that. And,
it was an era.
It was an era for sure. It was an era.
But Vegas, don't worry, because all those venues are going to be back going full swing, and it's not going to take that much longer.
It's going to be a little bit. I'm looking forward to this year.
But not that much longer.
Not much longer.
A little bit, but it'll come back.
Right. This year we're going to get things moving again, and Lou's an example of a guy who's working.
Yeah, I mean it's totally different. I mean it's a unique animal. I mean and when Alan says we're going to be back, I think Vegas is unique because so many people want to get into the entertainment industry as a city or as a township or as a spot, and Vegas has had it for so long that even though it's shut down, the infrastructure's here. We just need to turn the lights back on, so to speak, in the showrooms.
And now there's tunnels underneath the Strip going to the hotels from the convention center.
Yeah. It'll always be the big time. It'll always be the big time. And, when you talk about tunnels, there was a time when we were working on making a tunnel at Flamingo and Las Vegas Boulevard to connect at that time, the MGM, the Flamingo, Caesars, and the Dunes on an underground tunnel. It never got done, but we were sort of planning on that one.
Yeah, we built tunnels too, but that was to run from the law when they were coming in the front door.
Our tunnels were to get just so people didn't have to wait for the stop sign to turn green.
We have about 3 minutes left. We have about 3 minutes left to go. I want to bring Loretta back in here, Loretta, for a final conversation.
And I love the Italian American Club. Ben Spanos was always a good friend, and I ate there a lot, and saw a lot of entertainment there. And Lou, I'm really glad you're there. It's a great place.
Thank you for that. I want to thank Jimmy Gerard and, of course, Ben Spano, as well as Janine Pritchard. She's been helping to push the ticket sales. If anyone would like to come out Wednesday night, we'd love to see you there. That's 702-457-3866. 702-457-3866. Ask for Janine, or you can go to iacvegas.com and purchase your tickets online. And it's still a little tough. We have to distance. Seating is limited, but there's some tables still available. And again, we're gonna have great music and great food as always over there. And we're just trying to get back on track. And as you said, you have to roll with the punches and keep moving forward. And that's what we're doing.
Lou, take the word try out of your vocabulary. You're going to do it.
That's absolutely right.
I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do next year with Jim. I'm waving my hands around. Lou, what are you doing, Ron? Anyway, but Loretta?
Yes.
Final words?
I'm working on I have my first book that I am publishing. It is called Inside Loretta, and it is in the hands now of my publisher. I am working on, I'm recording three songs in North Carolina. So I am in the studio. Let me see. I just did, my most of the things are in theaters or very private engagements. Of course, these are extremely challenging times. Now we just have to think outside the box in a way.
But
you're doing a Cooking with Loretta.
You're happy and healthy, though, right?
But
you're
I
happy.
do want to direct people towards my website, which is my name, LorettaHolloway.com.
Sure.
And we were talking about the Vegas of old. There was a documentary that a German film crew came over to film me. And you can see me riding through Red Rock Canyon.
Oh, wow.
Around Caesar's Palace. I did an interview with Jerry Lewis. And that's on my website, and it's called I've Got the Music in Me. And you could see the sparseness of Las Vegas, but then you could see all of my favorite marquees, the Flamingo, the Riviera, the Dunes Hotel,
the Italian-American Club.
You could see all the charm that was.
Thank you, Loretta. We only have a minute left. I don't mean to cut you off. I apologize. But I got to get some others in here. Tom, I got a few words. We have less than a minute.
Very quickly, we've got Dark Offerings, Bob Lomasaro's Alien Abduction script. We just did the casting this afternoon, going into pre-production soon here in Vegas.
Good. Lou? We're going to see you this Wednesday?
This Wednesday, January 20th, 6:30 dinner, 8 p.m. show at the Italian-American Club, iacvegas.com.
And Arthur, thank you so much. And one more word about, I'll give it, the Smart Recovery. They can find it at smartrecovery.org. Is that correct?
That is correct, and thank you so much for having me on again.
Thank you very much.
We also lost, by the way, real fast, Ron, we lost also Phyllis McGuire recently.
Yes, that's true. I forgot that. Thank you, Arthur. Thank you, Loretta. Thank you, Lou, Tom. And thank you for listening to the Las Vegas Rocks radio show. Our mission is to get all local Las Vegas entertainers back to work as soon as possible in a safe, responsible, healthy way with no shortcuts. So for now, Lou and I and Tom and Loretta and Arthur, we'll keep the party going. We will stay positive, creative, and optimistic for the future. As Arthur said, Las Vegas isn't going anywhere, and neither are we. We will continue to provide a platform for local entertainers to tell us all about their upcoming shows and events.